They're the best. They're just the best. The best at getting your hopes up and completely disappointing you and crushing you in the most unbelievable but expected fashions possible. Same ways, over and over. Timberwolves playing against the Lakers. I tried to conjure all of the play-in posy vibes I possibly could with the Pat Bev shirt. It didn't matter. Even with the Timberwolves showing up, shooting the shit out of the ball to start the game. Unbelievable across the board, except for Anthony Edwards and Jordan McLaughlin, who were the two gigantic negatives in this game. Anthony Edwards never got on track offensively. Anthony Edwards, however, would not score the ball well in either game, largely in part to this guy, Jared Vanderbilt, who may guard Anthony Edwards better than anyone. So they've got a defensive stopper for our best offensive threat. I said that the stars had to show up. We wouldn't survive another bad Anthony Edwards shooting game. Needed both the stars to be efficient. Only Cat was. I also said that Cat needed to be disciplined, not get into foul trouble. He had 4 at the end of the third quarter. A minute into checking into the fourth, he picks up his 5th and has to be tentative the rest of the game. Also limits his minutes a little bit in a night that he was spectacularly offensively for most of that game. And then we go to the wing ISO for Karl Anthony Towns. The worst fucking play that the Timberwolves ever run. And Chris Finch decides it's how we close out big games. You know what the result is? Timberwolves having the most blown 10-plus leads in the NBA this season. Us having those embarrassing playoff losses to the Grizzlies where we're blowing gigantic leads happens in this game. We scored 10 points in the final 12 minutes of the game as it would go into overtime. We have only 12 points in the fourth quarter. In all this frustration, I was fucking vibing out for the first 30 minutes of this game. I was so happy. I was like, oh my god, we had all of these odds stacked against us. No Jaden McDaniels, no Gobert, which fucking whatever with this guy. No Naz Reid in LA against a team with the biggest free throw differential in the league. Timberwolves are one of the most frequent fouling teams in the NBA, and when you look at free throw differential, the Los Angeles Lakers, by far, get more free throws than their opponents. First half, we're shooting the ball great. Mike Conley doesn't miss a shot in that half. Karl Anthony Towns doesn't miss a shot in that half. Taurean Prince and Nickeil Alexander-Walker hit all their threes in the first half. Timberwolves get 5 more free throws than the Lakers in the first half. Ring, ring, ring. NBA to the insecure rhymes. Switch that shit up. Timberwolves don't get a free throw in the second half till there is 0.1 seconds left in the game. Meanwhile, of course, the Lakers will live at the line and have that carry them through a comeback because they couldn't shoot for shit in the fourth quarter either. Forgive me if I'm all over the place with my points in this video, but how can I not be? Did you watch that game? How can you not be all over the place? That's what that game was. It didn't make sense. There was nothing holding it together. It all fucking collapsed at the end. We've got this gorgeous, free-flowing offense with people cutting, 3-point shots going in, everyone being involved, and then we just go into fucking ISO play with the players that can't do anything on that night. Anthony Edwards, 3 of 17. Also 0 of 9 from 3, which is a pretty big proportion of the shots he was taking, wasn't driving to the rim. Lakers even noticed this. He was getting shut down by Vanderbilt, who was a defensive monster all night. But then they realized Ant wasn't doing anything. Also had a big fall, hit his shoulder, and he was useless after that. They start putting smaller guards like Schroeder on him. Ant still is unwilling to attack the rim. Yet we try to run everything through Cat and Ant instead of using the offensive mastermind, calmest, steadiest presence that the Wolves have seen in their uniform in Mike Conley, who is just a fucking stud. He was so good tonight. He's in control. He makes the right play. He's the perfect person to run your offense, but we go through Cat and Ant. I also mentioned Jordan McLaughlin, who's normally kind of a steady presence, good assist-to-turnover ratio, and makes the smart plays. He was the opposite of that tonight. J-Mac got baited by both Anthony Davis and LeBron, who were both spectacular tonight, into trying to make layups over them, gets swatted, had a lot of missed threes, had some terrible turnovers. Almost all of these plays ended up in the Lakers' favor. They would score in transition off of those, and it's a huge swing. Usually it's J-Mac that's making those swing plays, smart plays that are helping us out. He was the exact opposite tonight, and it killed us in a lot of stretches when the Wolves were actually in control, but we never get the cushion we should. It's been their flaw all year. They don't capitalize when things are going well, and they can throw all of it away in an instant. They do it all the time and have these stagnant offensive stretches, which we see to its maximum tonight. The other bench guards, though, Jalen Noel and Nickeil Alexander-Walker, they were stellar. Jalen a little less so. He fouled a bit too much, especially early in that fourth quarter, but he was getting buckets, and Nickeil was amazing. I wanted him to get subbed in for Anthony Edwards well into that game. It was clear that Ant wasn't even trying to do things on offense, and then we tried to run our offense through him half the time. Idiotic. Na was playing so good. You have to be able to sub out stars, whoever they are. He would do it with D'Lo. He did it with Gobert. When it's that clear that Ant isn't productive and Nickeil was playing insanely good, you gotta make the switch. Finch doesn't adjust to shit. He never feels out of game. We're constantly blowing leads with this dude. I'm no longer on the fence. Fire Finch. I don't fucking care that he has the second most wins as a Wolves head coach. He's done some good things with us. I'm through with him. The consistency isn't there, and we have way too many collapses and immaturities, and also all the issues that were present last year in this team that for some reason we thought Rudy Gobert was going to fix, although they were defense and rebounding. Those are absolutely still there. This team is 26th in the NBA for defensive rebounding and 27th for offensive rebounding. So we're actually a worse rebounding team overall than we were last year after going bigger and getting these players. I'm so frustrated. Couple positives to end it on, just for sanity's sake. Mike Conley, thank you so much for the insanely clutch presence all game. He's the reason it went into overtime, getting fouled on a three-pointer with the 0.1 seconds left by AD. He would hit all 3 free throws to force OT. Also got a steal with 10 seconds left when the Timberwolves were down by 3, and that would end up being a wide open look for Taurean Prince in the corner for a 3. Taurean would miss that one, and we would end up losing. Taurean was also really good for us most of the game, although would miss that shot. And Mike Conley made all the plays that made it so we should have won that game. Also, Kyle Anderson, who had some really bad late turnovers in that game, was stellar overall. Double-double with assists, as well as 8 stocks between 4 blocks and 4 steals. He was really good, however, had some tough stretches in that game as well. But, oh my god. That was such a deflating fucking game. Playing for the A seed against the winner of the Pelicans and the Thunder. I don't know how much more I can take with this team, but I'll just stick through the pain, I guess. The Ragnarok curse will continue, and it probably doesn't help when you trash the people that help get you to somewhere better.